I think spoken word exists, and then I thought, why not call it spoken dance then? Because and so now we're trying to figure out
what is
like we have
dance?
the word, and then now we have to figure out what it means. But you'll see. Een aantal jaar geleden, denk ik al, ben ik een boek beginnen schrijven. Zonder dat ik eigenlijk wist dat ik een boek aan het schrijven was. Maar dat is dan uiteindelijk, werd het mij duidelijk. In het kort gaat het over, het heet Zij, en het gaat over een actrice, Ada, die onderweg is naar een stad waarin zij een monoloog gaat spelen, die zij zelf heeft geschreven. En die monoloog is een hervertelling van het verhaal van Ifigeneia. En dus ik ben een boek aan het schrijven en dit is eigenlijk de route van het personage naar het theater. Dan speelt ze dat, maar dat zie je niet in het boek of dat lees je niet in het boek. En dan lees je verder, dan is het haar route die ze maakt van het theater naar huis. En waarin in het boek ligt de nadruk heel erg op de actrice die terugkijkt op zaken die zij heeft meegemaakt in het verleden. En de rode draad is eigenlijk grensoverschrijdend gedrag. En hoe dat haar is overkomen of hoe ze dat heeft opgezocht. En dan vond ik het wel tekenend om haar een monoloog te laten spelen van Ifigeneia. Omdat in Ifigeneia, om heel snel de context te scheppen van Ifigeneia, het verhaal is dat Ifigeneia door haar vader wordt geofferd. Haar vader is van het Griekse leger en die willen gaan varen. Die willen oorlog gaan voeren, maar er is geen wind. Dus de Trojaanse oorlog zou moeten beginnen, maar het gaat niet, want er is geen wind. En dus komt er een of andere ziener, Calchas, en die zegt, ja, maar je hebt ooit iets beloofd aan de godin van de wind. Jij moet jouw dochter offeren. En dat is dus Ifigeneia. En in het stuk, in de tragedie, geschreven door Euripides, zegt Ifigeneia eerst, nee, ik wil dat niet, papa, dat jij me offert. En dan zegt ze, 1 scène later zegt ze, ja, ik ga dat doen. En ik als mens, als schrijver, als vrouw, als speler, theatermaker, maakte mij de bedenking, maar waarom zegt zij eigenlijk eerst nee? En de volgende scène zegt zij, ja, wat zit er allemaal tussen? Wat is haar verhaal eigenlijk? Dus die vraag begon ik me te stellen. En dus tijdens het schrijven van het boek dacht ik, op het moment dat de actrice aanbelandt, toen ik daar was in het schrijfproces, in het theater, dacht ik, ja, oké, ik ga die monoloog uitschrijven. En dan heb ik dat gedaan en dan is die uiteindelijk niet in het boek beland. Dan dacht ik, wat als ik er een tweeluik van maak? En je hebt aan de ene zijde een boek en eigenlijk de aanvulling daarop, of gewoon het tweede deel, is het toneelstuk, namelijk de hervertelling van het verhaal van Iphigenia. En dat brengen we dan op toneel. Dus je hebt een soort discipline-overschrijdend tweeluik. I thought it would be a beautiful idea to go back to Aulis, because there's still a place in Greece that is called Aulis, and that is assumed to be the place where the army took off to go to Troy. So we thought, let's go back. And let's film our actress, Adana, there. And so what I didn't tell yet is that in our play, she's retelling her story, and she also actually says to her father, she changes her story, actually. She says, like, I don't want to be sacrificed anymore. And so that's why we wanted her there on that place, very vividly, very alive, dancing. And that's what we went to film there.
Celebrating the life she didn't give up in our version.
When we arrived there, Katrien, who is the production manager, she got in contact with the people from the local theater there. They organize, every year they organize a festival on the place where we went to film.
And I think they're really proud of Ifigeneia. And they were so happy that there was a group of women who were telling her story in a different way, and they were super welcoming. That they made lunch for us, they fed us, they invited us to meet all their friends. They really took good care of us.
They did.
And they were so happy to welcome this project also because what's the slogan of their festival?
So I was explaining them, like, what we want to do with Iphigenia's story, and that in the end she actually says, like, I choose for life. I don't choose for death anymore. I choose for life. And they said, oh, but our motto, our slogan of our festival is no more sacrifices in Aulis. So we kind of got along well. What I found important was to give Iphigenia a voice. When I was reading Iphigenia again, because I played it, I played it when I was younger. I thought, like, but this girl doesn't have a voice. I mean, like, there's a whole story revolving around her, but what she thinks, nobody actually cares. She's there to be sacrificed, and that is the drama. And so then I thought, what if we let her speak? And actually, a large part of the performance is she actually telling her family story, her family history, and then also the story what happened during the sacrifice. And then she has also thoughts about maybe how it could be different now.
I think this rewriting of history from the point of view of the woman is also part of the reason why we decided to work together, because it's something that we're both, I'd say, quite passionate about. So yeah, common interest. Let's do something with it. Yeah, that's really came to me.
Yeah. I saw her
graduation solo,
which I was blown away by.
Also Greek mythology.
True.
Medusa.
I was really very interested in how Tess was working with text in combination with dance. When I watched her, I was like, I understand what you want to say, even if I actually don't listen to the text. So I was like, oh, what's happening here? I was very triggered. And then I was thinking about this Ifigeneia, and then I thought, it would be really, like, wonderful to work in this way on the text, which I haven't done before. So then you came in.
Yeah. And it's really been a process for us of figuring out what is this spoken dance, as you coined it.
Yeah.
I think what we're trying to do is give an independent track to text and to movement. So they're both independent and equal elements. And we try to let the logic of each track live. And I think it's like often, movement is used as kind of a decoration on text, or language in a linguistic sense is used to, like, give meaning to movement. But I think we're trying to, like, let each do its own thing, but side by side. And then that's where it gets interesting, because it's like, what happens if you put these two things next to each other, simultaneously performed? What friction comes out? Where does the text help the movement, or where does the movement completely get in the way of the text? Sometimes it makes, like, opposing meanings come up, and sometimes you have beautiful moments of harmony that you couldn't have planned, actually. So that's our research, how to bring the two together.
And what happens then sometimes is that there's another layer when Adana is speaking, and when she's at the same time moving, sometimes you can listen to her words in a different way, because her body shows us or something else than what she's saying, or something even deeper, So it's really very fun also, actually, to work with both at the same time. We really try to find the marriage.
You have to put your mind in two places at the same time, like focus on the story that you're trying to convey in words, but also do this choreography. Like, it's super challenging, but that's also what's really beautiful about it, I think. You see Adana really trying to find her own logic in something that's not logical at all, which also relates to the story, because she's trying to make sense of something really horrible that's happened to her. Well, all of the movement comes from the text. So one of the first things we did when we arrived in the studio was read through the scripts together and we each selected images or sentences or words here and there that kind of sparked inspiration for movement on a really personal level. And then we spent a lot of time like workshopping those images in the space, turning them into movement. And then we made a selection of those that we have developed into the choreography. We worked together on that, but really like Adana is the one who brings it to life.
Yeah.
But I think all of the movement is coming from the story. It's maybe abstracted, or the emotional side is taken up more than the literal side, but it's really linked super closely to the text.
Linking it to Greek tragedy, she talks about her family tree, actually. She kind of explains to the audience what her family tree is. And so movement also comes from who these characters are, who are part of her body. And that at a certain point becomes like really a choreography with all these different movements that we gave to the different characters. And then you kind of see this girl, young woman, who is there and who is kind of reliving her past and being her family, and she's unable actually until a certain point to run away from it. Yeah. And that's actually when you're watching it, you kind of feel that more because of the movement, because you kind of as an audience start to see like, oh, okay, wow, there's her mother, there's her father, there's her grandfather.
It's an embodied history, no? Like a history that's really deep inside her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something like we didn't really come up with that in the beginning, you know, like we read the text and then we kind of put movements to characters, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, this is really like a family tree, and then she went through the family tree, and it became important throughout the whole play, actually.
Yeah.